This is Smotherman. I'm here with Rebecca, and we are excited about talking about 4 ways to find profitable online arbitrage inventory every day. These are strategies that you can use today and tomorrow, and this is the stuff that's working right now, and we're excited to be here to talk about it with you today. So I'm Steven, fulltimefba.com, and with me is Rebecca. She's also at fulltimefba.com. Hey, we work together.
We do. We work together.
And we're married. That's awesome.
And we enjoy it.
Yes, we do.
We enjoy both. We enjoy being married and we enjoy working together, believe it or not.
Yes, and so we're going to get into talking about some really cool stuff. I'm going to take our faces off the screen. We're going to get into the topic, which is the 4 ways to find profitable inventory, online arbitrage inventory every single day. And we're going to get into that. And we're excited about all the stuff that you are going to learn. Be sure to put all your questions in the questions section of the webinar so that we can see those, and we'll try to come back to those a little bit later. So we'll have a good time. And but first, like something you should probably know more about. Who in the world are we? Why should you trust us? Let me tell you a little bit about Rebecca and I. We are Rebecca and Steven Smotherman. This is a picture of us. Yeah, thanks for clarifying. This is a picture of us and 3 of my 4 boys. The oldest is grown. That's us. I've been selling online since 1998. That sounds like so long ago.
It is a long time ago.
Man, so over 20 years selling online on eBay and Amazon, and it was a hobby for a while. But I discovered Amazon FBA in 2011, and man, I fell in love with it. I do eBay very rarely now, but because some stuff just sells better on eBay. But Amazon is where 99.9% repeating of my sales and my time and energy go to when it comes to online sales. In fact, by 2012, I was making a full-time income. In fact, in 2012, during Q4 of 2012, Amazon awarded me as a top holiday seller in 2012, which meant I was at the top 25% of all sales on Amazon. Plus, I was able to keep an A+ customer satisfaction rating, and that was just really cool. Unfortunately, 2012 was the last time they offered this award, but I was really happy to receive it, and it's just awesome with Amazon how quickly you can start finding success. And I definitely found success in 2013 when I married this girl here. The best thing that's ever happened to me. She joined selling on Amazon with me. I mean, she came to some garage sales with me, and that just kind of wasn't her thing. We started thrifting together, and that was a lot of fun. And then she started doing online arbitrage while I was doing retail arbitrage. And we've been able to both just spend part-time hours to make a full-time income on Amazon. And in 2013, started fulltimefba.com. And because, I was spending a lot of time on Facebook. How many other people spend too much time on Facebook talking about Amazon and other Facebook groups? Well, Rebecca encouraged me to start this blog and Full-Time FBA, where we talk about the different ways that you can spend part-time hours to make a full-time income on Amazon, and tips and tricks, free videos, trainings, walkthroughs, things that you can do to help your Amazon business be more successful. So I encourage you to come to fulltimefba.com and subscribe. Make sure you don't miss out on anything that we have, because we have a lot of free stuff that we give out, and it's pretty awesome. Well, we have a free gift for you.
Yeah, if you would like to check out our free gift for coming to this webinar, if you go to fulltimefba.com/seller central tips, we have a free ebook that will help you to get reimbursements and refunds. It'll help you figure out possibly some other glitches that might be going on in Seller Central that would help you kind of clean up some of your inventory that you might be having problems with. So be sure and check out that ebook, fulltimefba.com/seller central tips.
Yeah, Seller Central can sometimes be glitchy.
Yeah, it is known to be glitchy.
Yeah, so this
pretty much every day.
Yeah, so but they're doing the best they can, and we have this book to help you fix some of the problems that go on there, and help you not waste any time with glitchy experiences, but to spend more of your time focused on Amazon. Now, be sure that you leave whatever questions you have in the questions area. We'll come back later and have a special Q&A time. Also, at the end of the presentation, we're going to be doing a giveaway. We'll pick a few lucky people who will get a free copy of a course that we're offering. And so just stay tuned for that, because you got to be live to win, must be present to win.
Yes.
Yes, that's awesome.
Before we get much further into our webinar, let's talk about a definition of arbitrage and online arbitrage, just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. So you've probably heard the term arbitrage before in your FBA selling education. You've probably heard of retail arbitrage, and online arbitrage is just the online version of that. And so what is arbitrage exactly? Just so we know, arbitrage is the process of buying an item for a low price in order to sell it for a higher price for a profit. It's a pretty basic concept, and you know that if you've done any amount of sourcing already for an FBA business or for any type of reselling business. You're looking for items that you can buy at a low price that are selling for a higher price so that you can make a profit. And online arbitrage is the process of buying items online in order to resell them via Amazon. Retail arbitrage, if you've heard of that, is going to retail stores and buying items to sell on Amazon. Online arbitrage is the process of buying those items from online retail stores, from a retail store's online website, in order to resell it on Amazon. So how do you know if this webinar is even for you? If you need to continue listening, you are in the right place if you want to save time sourcing. If you are tired of spending a lot of time driving around to places and looking for items in person and want to save some time sourcing, you're in the right place. You are in the right place to learn about online arbitrage. You're also in the right place if you want to save wear and tear on your vehicle. If you have put a lot of miles on your vehicle doing garage sales or going to different retail arbitrage RA stops, then you're in the right place. Also, if you want to save wear and tear on your relationships. And basically what we mean by that is it takes a toll driving around all the time, having to spend entire days out, spending your Saturday and Sunday morning every week doing garage sales, or going all day from morning to night driving around to retail stores. That can really put a strain on your relationships. It can really wear on your family if you're spending that much time away from home. And so you're in the right place if that description fits you. You're also in the right place if you want to source anytime, day or night. If you have a schedule of other activities or other responsibilities that you need to plan around, and you really need to be able to work your sourcing into those kind of off-hour times, then you are in the right place. And also, if you want to be able to source stores outside your geographic area, whether you're in a remote part of the U.S. that doesn't have a lot of retail stores or where there aren't a lot of garage sales. For instance, if you live in a part of the country where it's really cold a majority of the time and you don't get a lot of good garage sale weather, or if you live in another country and you are wanting to source stores that are in the U.S. but you don't live in the U.S., then you're in the right place. And the reason is that online arbitrage gives you a way to overcome all of the things that we just mentioned. Online arbitrage is going to save you time and money by staying home and not having to drive around. You're not going to have to spend the time that it takes to drive from garage sale to garage sale. You're not going to have to spend the money that it takes to maintain your car. You're not going to have to spend time driving around a bunch of different retail stores, either on the weekend or in the evenings. You just can walk from wherever you are in your house to wherever your laptop is, to your home office where your desktop is, and you can start sourcing right there. And that saves so much time in the long run to not have to worry about driving, and also saves that money. Even though the miles that you put on your car when you're driving to do garage sales or driving to do a retail arbitrage trip, those miles are deductible and you can save a bit off of your taxes by that as a business expense. It still puts, wear and tear on your car that costs you money over time. And we know personally that we have put over 200,000 miles on Steven's vehicle, and because he does a lot of retail arbitrage and was doing a lot of garage sales, and that adds up, and we would rather, save that time and money. I personally was spending a lot of time driving around to retail stores and thrifting at one point. And when I started doing online arbitrage, the number of miles that I was deducting went down to 0. That first year, it just was a dramatic drop. And I was more than happy to not have to put those miles on my car and not have to continually be worrying about that kind of maintenance for my vehicle. It saves time and it saves money. It also gives you more time at home to take care of family. And this goes for whether you're married and have kids at home, or whether you are a caretaker for an older family member or a sick or disabled family member. This gives you time to be at home and to take care of those relationships, to take care of the people who you need to be around. And I know for us, Stephen and I, we don't really, need each other to take care of each other, but we do. And we just enjoy not having to be apart for all those hours. When he was driving around for garage sales on Saturday mornings, that kind of took away from what we could commit to do on a Saturday morning. Sometimes you just want to be able to go to a family event and not have to plan around garage sales. And so doing online arbitrage is a great way to be able to have more free time to do other things with your family. It also gives you the flexibility to source online 24/7. And again, this goes if you have kids, you can plan your sourcing time around their school or around their nap time, around their activities. If you are a caretaker for another family member, you can plan accordingly and you can source whenever you have that free time, whenever your schedule is available to do that. If you work a full-time job and you need to be able to source in the evenings or be able to source on the weekends, those stores are going to be open. Online stores are open 24/7, unlike a retail store that will, close at a certain hour at night or might not open until 10 o'clock on a Saturday or Sunday morning or not be open at all. Those online stores, if you wanted to source at midnight or 2 a.m., you can do that. And that is a great, that flexibility makes it a great way to source for people who have responsibilities and who aren't necessarily doing FBA full-time and have another job or other responsibilities to take care of. And you also have hundreds of online stores to shop from. These are stores that you might not be able to go to a brick and mortar location where you are in the States. Whether you live in a big city and have plenty of retail stores around you and it's a regional store that you find online that's not available in your part of the country, or whether you live in a remote area where you're 100 miles from a big hub of retail stores, you have the option to source online and do that online arbitrage. Or even if you live outside of the States and want to shop at stores online in the US and send those products to a prep center, you can do that from anywhere in the world. And that's one way that online arbitrage can help you to fully outsource your FBA business. You can be anywhere in the world, buy products online at retail stores, ship them to a prep center in the US, and have those items then sent to Amazon warehouses so that you don't have to touch the inventory. You can fully outsource that aspect of your business. The prepping, the receiving, the prepping, the packing, the shipping it to FBA, all of that can be outsourced to a prep center, and that's pretty awesome. And that's a great way to run your business whether you're inside the US or not in the US. And every FBA business is going to be different. Not every business is the same, and so you really need to look at how all of this fits with your business model. And we acknowledge that. We know that, online arbitrage isn't necessarily for everyone, but it's something that's really worth trying. It's something that really can be, whether you are wanting to make this your full-time method of sourcing or not, everybody has different goals. You also can have a different focus. There's different ways to run an online arbitrage business that yours might be completely different from ours. Everybody can choose what kind of category they focus on and whether or not they're going to do fast turns or look for items that might take a little bit longer to sell and have a higher return on their investment. It just really is up to you. It just can be, it can easily be added to your existing business model and can really add to your profits. When it comes to categories, there are some people that make just a really great amount. They do great profits on selling groceries or selling health and beauty items. There are some people who have great sources for toys that they can find online. I personally sell shoes and do 100% OA with shoes. And I've tried doing retail arbitrage with shoes and didn't enjoy it at all, and wasn't able to find things as easily as I can find them by doing that sourcing online. I know there's other people who say the opposite, that they wouldn't want to do OA for that category. But either way, whether you are focusing on it full-time or part-time, if you're adding it to your existing business model, or you're wanting to start from scratch with adding it, starting off, and this is how you want to go because you know that it's not going to work for you to do retail arbitrage or garage sales, OA is a great way to add profits to your FBA business and to really grow your business over time and to just build up a snowball of profits where you don't even have to touch the inventory. So speaking of inventory, how do you even find inventory to sell online? I know that's like the big question that this whole webinar that we're kind of boiling it all down to is, how do you find inventory? Where do you even start? I mean, the internet is so vast, it's infinite almost, where to even begin looking. And so the answer to that question really comes down to, it's the same as with any other sourcing methods. You have to just look at what are the different options, what are other people doing, what are different ways that other people have proven that they can find inventory and make profits, and then analyze those different options and make an informed decision about where you're going to start, and then just jump in and start doing it. There's not really any one tried and true, this is the only way, this is the best way to find online inventory. There are several different methods that we've noticed over time. There's several different methods that we've used, and we're going to get into those 4 methods that we find to be the most common. And over the years, we've kind of narrowed it down to what our preferred methods are. And we're going to tell you about the 4 main ways that you can find OA inventory. And just know, we don't use all of these every day. There are some that we use more than others, but all of them are ones that we have tried at different times. So those 4 main ways to find OA inventory, this is the meat of what you're here for, I'm sure. The first one is manual search. Manually searching for items on online retail websites to match them with products on Amazon and see if they will sell. There's also deal lists, which you can subscribe to and you can receive either in your inbox, or you can log in every day to a website and see those deals. You can log in to see them, every week they might show up. It's a method of subscribing to a list where somebody else is doing the searching and you are then receiving leads from their searches that would then point you in the direction of items to buy. There's also scanning programs that you can buy where you can scan an entire website or scan a category or a page on a website and find matches from that website, that retail website, and the Amazon catalog. And then you can also use a virtual assistant, a VA. And that's another way that you can have somebody else who is helping you, who is in a different location and is working behind the scenes for you to provide you with leads every day. So those are the main ways, the 4 main ways that we have found, and we're going to break down each of those. And like I said, not all of these are ones that we personally use every day. We have tried each of these and we have found better results with some than others, but we're going to talk to you about each one of them and kind of fill you in on the details and our opinions a little bit more about each of them. So the first one, manual search. I think basically this is the most fundamental method of OA sourcing. This is, if you can understand how to do a manual search, I think that opens up the door to the other methods so much wider. If you don't have this basic knowledge of what are you even doing when you're searching, like trying to look for a match, if you can't do a manual search, to me, it makes the others a lot more difficult to wrap your mind around. So basically what you're doing is you're looking for leads on a retail store website. Here we have this picture. We've got pulled up on one side the Lowe's website and on the other side the Amazon website. So you're looking for a lead, say, on the Lowe's website. and you're wanting to match that lead to a product in the Amazon catalog. You're looking for something that, this example is this Black & Decker cordless screwdriver. You are wanting to find this one from Lowe's that's priced at $24. Is it available on Amazon? Is this exact item available on Amazon? And if so, is that exact item then a good buy for your FBA business? You want to look at that price and see. Remember, again, arbitrage is you buy low, sell high. So buy for $24, sell it for $76.99. That is definitely going to make you some profits there. So the process is going through a retail store website methodically, manually searching for each item that you're looking at, then taking that item from the retail web store, searching for it on Amazon, making sure it's a match, and then deciding based on different criteria, not just the price. That's, obviously the main thing you're wanting to look at, but there's other factors that are going to go into your decision to see if this is a good buy for your FBA business. And we think that manually searching for items is a great method for beginners. Like I said, I found that if you don't understand this concept of what the process is manually, then it's hard to understand when you get a deal list or when you scan a website. Like, what are you even looking for? How did we find these? How do we find this information? What is the process even involved here? So it's good for beginners to understand that process of going through and matching and then making a good decision based on your buying criteria. And it also works really well for people who have a lot of time to source. Obviously, manually searching is going to take longer than scanning something with a scanning program. And so if you've got a lot of time and you're willing to sit down and kind of play around and do that manual search, this is a great method for you. And here you have another example of buying an item, finding it in the Ulta website, finding this item, this eyeshadow, and then finding the match, that exact same item on the Amazon catalog and seeing, okay, I could buy it at $42.25 and it's selling for $75.31. There's other criteria you're going to want to look at, like sales rank and things like that, your competition, but if it matches, it's a good lead. You're looking for leads to begin with. You're not necessarily looking right from the start for items that you're going to buy. You're first wanting to make sure you found a match, and that's a lead. And then from that point, then you can analyze more data and go from there to decide if it's something you want to buy. So this manual search is it's budget friendly. Obviously, it really doesn't take a lot of money for you to sit down and manually go through a website and do searches by entering in a title from the retail website into the Amazon search bar. You really don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of tools. There are some paid tools that we use, but there are free tools that we can use that if you're just getting started out and you don't have a lot of capital to work with and you aren't wanting to get a lot of tools that are going to cost you a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription, there are free tools that you can use so that over time you can build up, you can earn some profits and build up a little bit more capital that you would then be able to use to spend on those on paid tools that will speed up the process. But as you're getting started, there's some really great free tools that we recommend. One of those is the FBA calculator. And you can find a quick link to that. It is a page that the FBA calculator is provided by Amazon for free. This link that we have here, fulltimefba.com/calculator, that's just a quick link to get you there. It goes directly to the Amazon page where you can enter in the ASIN or search for an item and then pull up a calculator for that item where it will show if you are going to sell that item at you plug in the number of what you want to sell the item at, you can plug in the number that you're buying the item for, and it will calculate for you based on the Amazon back end for like the weight and the dimensions and the shipping costs and all of that, the fees that are involved, all of that. It will return to you the information that will show you how much profit you would make, what amount of dollar amount of profit that you would make, and you can calculate the profit margin and the ROI that way. And that's a free tool that you can use, and we definitely recommend that you use a tool like this, either this calculator or some paid tools that will you can also use. Don't just look at, oh, buy for $44.25, sell for $75.31. Oh, I'm going to make profits. You need to enter it in to make sure that the fees and the shipping costs and all of that, once you subtract all of that out, find out what the actual profit would be so that you're making an informed decision. And that's a great free tool. Another great free tool is the sales rank chart that we provide through the Full-Time FBA blog, and you can find that at fulltimefba.com/salesrank. And that chart is a way that you can make sure that you're buying within certain sales rank parameters. Each category of the Amazon catalog is going to work differently, and we've made this sales rank chart that has updated information for each of the categories on Amazon and what sales rank percentages those categories have at any given time. So, for instance, you're going to want to set some buying parameters and say, I'm looking for an item, we're looking for items to sell that are within a certain sales rank percentage. So I want to buy in the top 1% of this category or the top 3% of this category. Everybody has different parameters for their own comfort zone. When you're getting started, though, we really recommend looking for lower sales rank in that top 1% to 3%, depending on the category. And so this sales rank chart is a great way to easily look up and see, okay, if this is a toy that I'm looking at and it's ranked 100,000 at this time, what percentage does that fall in? And you can look on your sales rank chart and see, okay, that falls in the top whatever percent. That's a good buy. So since each category acts differently, we really recommend if you're just getting started to use that sales rank chart. And again, you can get that for free, fulltimefba.com/salesrank. All right, so that covers manual searches. The next one on our list of methods for finding inventory online are deal lists. And deal lists are something that you can subscribe to where you receive a set of leads every day. Some of them are every week. They come in different amounts. You can decide, depending on what's offered by each provider, how many leads you want to receive. And some of them might be, you get 10 every day. Some of them might be you're going to get 15 for the week. Some of them come in, it's a wide variety of categories all on one list. Some of them are, you can find lists that are, solely focused on shoes or solely focused on health and beauty. There's a lot of different ones out there, and you can make your decision based on your own buying parameters and how much money you have to spend each week for sourcing, whether or not you want to get just 10 leads a week or if you want to get 10 leads every day. There's different deal lists out there that have different options available for you. And so what you're going to do then once you get your leads is you're going to analyze them along with their Amazon product pages. So this is kind of like you've skipped that step of searching. You've received your leads, because the person who manages the deal list is going to make sure that those leads are a match with the Amazon catalog. So you don't have to do that part where you're matching. Now you've got your leads, they're already matched up. You're just going to analyze them. You're going to analyze that data that we were talking about, the ROI, sales rank, price, and you're going to then decide if those leads are a good buy for your FBA business. So you'll see that, like I was saying, if you can do a manual search, you can definitely do any of these other types. So for that reason, we feel like this is also a great method for beginners. Deal lists are a great way to get started. I, very early on in my OA sourcing journey, started out using deal lists on a regular basis. It also works well, though, for advanced sourcers as well. It's great for beginners because a lot of beginners are like, where do I even begin? But it's also great for advanced sourcers because some advanced sourcers, their mindset is more, I want to streamline my time. I know how to do a manual search, but I just want to get more leads in a shorter amount of time. So it works well for both. It's a really great way to learn more about what makes a good lead to use a deal list. And this was my experience and why I really recommend that some beginners get started with deal lists, because when you're looking at a deal list, you can analyze the different data points that are on that list and really understand why is it that this administrator of this list wanted to include this data point. And you can start figuring out, like, okay, these are the things that I need to look at. This is going to help me to make a good buy. This is going to help me to find a product that's going to sell quickly. This is going to help me find a product that's not going to tank in price. It's not going to become oversaturated because of the number of competitors and things like that. So it's a great way to, if you're an analytical thinker, deal lists are a great way to learn more about what makes a good lead. And it's also just a really excellent way, like I was saying, for those who want to spend money to save some time, who really are looking to get a lot more leads in a shorter amount of time, and they have the money and the flexibility to spend to do that. Okay, so moving on from there, there's scanning programs, and these programs are another way to quickly produce a list of leads from a website. Similar to a deal list, you're going to get a lot more leads in a shorter amount of time than if you were manually searching. So basically, when you subscribe to a scanning program, you're able to decide which website and which category that you want to scan, and you use the software. They come in different forms. Some of them come in the form of a Chrome extension. Others are done, through a web portal. And you're going to then set up your scan and your filters after you've decided which website you're using, after you've decided which category you're going to look at within that website. You set up the scan, you tell it which products you're wanting to scan, and you tell it the parameters that you're looking for, your sales rank parameters, the amount of profit, and there's tons of other filters. I don't really have time to go over all of them. That's like a whole different webinar in and of itself, filters. Suffice it to say, there are ways that you can set it up to spit out the results that fit within what you're looking for, and then you wait for those results. Sometimes it could take 30 minutes. In some scans you can do it page by page, and where it just takes a few seconds. Some scans I've set up, and I set them up in the evening, and then they're ready for me the next morning because it's going to take several hours. I set it up so that it's ready to go. And then once you've got those results, you can analyze those leads. They've been matched, products have been matched from that website to the Amazon catalog, and then again you decide if they're a good buy for your FBA business. This is a great way, scanning programs are a great way to expand if you already know the fundamentals of OA and you're really just wanting to ramp up the amount of inventory that you have on hand. It's an excellent method to find more potential leads than you probably know what to do with. There are times when I'll come back with scans from Tactical Arbitrage or OA X-Ray, and I get so many leads that I don't have the mental bandwidth to be able to go through it all, and I have to just kind of go through and decide, okay, I'm going to throw some of this out because I can't even look at it right now. So if you're at that point where you're like, just give me all the leads, scanning programs are a great way for you to find those leads. And this also works well for those who want to spend money to save time. If you're just getting started and you don't have time for a monthly, or you don't have the money for a monthly or yearly subscription, you're going to need to kind of build up to this point. But if you are at the point where you have a little bit of cushion in your business and you have the money to spend and you want to save that time and get a lot more leads in a shorter amount of time, this is a great way to do that by using scanning programs. Definitely some programs have a steeper learning curve than others, so you'll want to kind of figure that out before you commit to a subscription. The two programs that we use on a regular basis are OA X-Ray and Tactical Arbitrage. I started out using OA X-Ray, and I really enjoy it. It is great for if you're wanting to scan a small amount of leads at a time. You go page by page through a website, and then Tactical Arbitrage will scan an entire category at a time. Both of them have their benefits. Both of them, are great for turning out a lot of results, and where you can set up the filters and you can really narrow down what you're looking at. And so we recommend both of those: fulltimefba.com/OA X-ray and fulltimefba.com/TA for Tactical Arbitrage. I would say that Tactical Arbitrage has the steeper learning curve and is a much more powerful tool. So it just really depends. We've got some blog posts on the Full-Time FBA blog that go into more details about our review of those two in a comparison. So be sure and check that out too. All right, our next method of finding online inventory is using a virtual assistant or a VA. You can hire a virtual assistant to help you find online leads on a regular basis, and the VA will help you by doing that work of finding those leads for you based on the parameters that you set. So rather than you going out and doing a manual search or you going out and doing a scan of a website, the VA will do that. You'll give them a set of parameters. You will tell them which websites you're interested in, which categories you're interested in, and they will do that work for you. They'll return it to you, at the time that you request it. And then you can then take that list of leads that they give you and decide if they're a good buy for your FBA business. Then you would do the work of analyzing the data points that they've collected for you and deciding, does this fit my ROI parameters? Is this going to sell quickly enough? Does it have a good sales rank? All of those things. So using a virtual assistant is a great way to outsource those manual searches to find even more inventory that you, if you're wanting to find items that are a little bit harder to find, that aren't low-hanging fruit that all resellers are finding, you can set up a way for your VA to do a manual search of some websites that are a little bit more niche or hard to find. And you can also hire a VA to run your scanning programs for you. A lot of people will do this. They'll have VAs working overnight while they're sleeping and have the leads ready to go when they start work in the morning. This is another way, like if running a scanning program gives you more leads than you know what to do with, having VAs running scanning programs just even amps that up even more. So you can also hire VAs to do a lot of other online tasks related to your business. And so if you're wanting to outsource multiple areas of your FBA business to one or two assistants, you can have them combine, doing some of your back-end Amazon work also while they're helping you source. So it is a great way to outsource even more of your business so that you're able to just use your time to make decisions rather than digging around on websites. So that kind of sums it up, our 4 different methods of finding inventory. And before we wrap that part up of the webinar, I do want to give you just a few items to note about doing online arbitrage, because there's a mindset shift that you're probably going to need to make if you're used to doing retail arbitrage or garage sailing, thrifting, that kind of sourcing. So I want to make sure that you understand that searching for inventory and analyzing it takes time and effort. Some people kind of come into online arbitrage with this misconception that it's going to be easy, and if I just buy OA X-ray, then I can just get all of these leads, I can get, turn out these results and find all this great inventory. And people are always talking about how much money they make from tactical arbitrage or OA X-ray, but it takes time and effort. Even if you're using a scanning program or if you're using a deal list, you still have to analyze those leads. You're not getting a deal list and then just buying everything on that list. No, you're looking at those leads, they're leads, and then deciding, okay, does this work for my business? Do I have the money to spend on this? Is this going to be a sales rank that I feel comfortable with being able to sell this item in a period of time where I'll get the money back that I'm expecting to make? Those kind of questions, you're still going to have to spend that effort. Obviously, if you're doing manual searches, that's going to take even more time and effort. It's totally worth it. This is what we've been doing for years now for the part of the business that I'm running for our FBA business, and it's totally worth it. But I have to just say, I'm not just sitting down for 5 minutes every day and buying stuff. I have to do work to find it. So also you need to understand that your shipping times are going to add to your overall turnaround with OA. With retail arbitrage or garage sailing, you can bring that stuff home. You buy it, you bring it home, you can prep it and pack it and ship it out later that afternoon. But with OA, you're going to have to wait for it to get to you, and that's going to add a little bit to your overall turnaround. And that doubly goes if you have a prep center that's going to be receiving it and then adding it to their queue. So just keep that in mind. Again, we've made that cost analysis to find that the benefit that we get from waiting a little bit longer but not having to touch it ourselves, it's worthwhile. We're okay with waiting for the shipping time for the items to get to us or to get to the prep center, because we're not having to spend the time to go out. You just work all of that into your schedule and it all works out over time. You need to understand that there are some differences in that sometimes you'll get items that are going to arrive damaged, or they might be the wrong item, and that's normal. But it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen every day. It just happens occasionally. And so you're going to want to make sure that you have systems in place to manage your inventory and to manage new processes. If you aren't used to doing OA and you're coming at it from an RA background or garage sales, you just need to know that there's going to be a couple of extra steps with receiving inventory, inspecting it, and then going from there with how to handle your inventory before it's prepped and packed and shipped. That's something that you'll just need to work into your normal workflow. So there you have our content of the 4 main ways that we like to buy online inventory, and we believe that these are ways that anybody really can take and tweak however it works best. You can use a combination of these methods and really find a lot of inventory out there. There are hundreds of websites to search, whether you're searching them manually or searching them with a program, and really just endless opportunities to find inventory that you can sell for a profit on Amazon.
All right, thanks so much, Rebecca, for taking us through that. Now, before we continue, I want you to know we're about to do some Q&A. We've got some really great questions that have already come in from a lot of you that have already asked questions. If anyone else has any other questions, you can put that in the questions section. We'll do our best to answer your questions in the time that we have for you tonight. So yeah, Q&A and a giveaway in just a second, but coming up first, I do want to let you know we have a course we just released, the Reseller's Guide to Online Arbitrage. It is a course combining 5 hours of video training, over a 100-page ebook. The content in both the course, the video course and the ebook are the exact same. So you can pick which way you want to learn, video or book or both. There's 6 bonuses at no additional charge. We have multiple proven online sourcing strategies. A lot of what we talked about tonight, but we go into a lot deeper, showing you the how-to step-by-steps to be able to know and understand and master all those steps. And another thing that I love about online arbitrage is the ability to outsource. In fact, one of the things that you can do with online arbitrage is outsource everything. Now, obviously not at the very beginning of learning it. You want to learn how to do it yourself, but eventually you can get to the point where you outsource almost every aspect of online arbitrage to grow your business. We'll walk you through that. This course offers a lifetime ownership, which means lifetime updates for free. If we add a new video or a new bonus or a new chapter or whatever. And of course, Amazon changes, and so we update our courses from time to time. So every time we update the course, you'll get that for free, lifetime ownership, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. So you have 60 days to put it into action, start seeing those results. And if you didn't, ask us for a refund. We'll give it to you, no questions asked. You can find the course fulltimefba.com/OA course, and you can use the coupon code online50. This is probably the biggest coupon. This is the biggest coupon code we've ever offered when launching a product.
Percentage-wise.
Yeah, percentage-wise. And we just wanted to be able to give everyone an opportunity to learn on online arbitrage when this is probably the best sourcing strategy for most people right now. Online arbitrage is something that you can do where you can stay home, source lots of inventory, spend more time with your family, and be able to continue to grow your Amazon FBA business. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the bonuses that are available in just a second. But first, the Reseller's Guide to Online Arbitrage. You'll be able to understand online arbitrage and how to add that to your current FBA business. You can learn the framework to build a seamless online arbitrage workflow that works best for you. You can see how you can average hundreds of dollars of online sourcing profits per day. How does that sound? That sounds pretty good. Learn the costly mistakes we made early on and how you can avoid them, because we made some.
Yeah, you definitely want to learn from our mistakes and not repeat them, and try to avoid that as much as possible so that you don't end up having to pay that same price.
Yeah, some of our mistakes were expensive, and wasted a lot of time. But we try to keep that mindset that okay, it wasn't wasted time because we learned from it.
It was education.
Yes. So you can learn that from us with this course. You can learn how to find profitable online leads and how to actually pick the best products. Just because something's selling for a higher price on Amazon than it is on another website doesn't always mean that it's the best product for you to choose. So we'll walk you through how to know that for sure. And finally, how to become an expert in multiple online arbitrage strategies so that if one strategy doesn't lead to results, you can pivot to another strategy. Think of it like income streams. You got streams of water coming in, you got 4 faucets, and maybe even more. There's certain strategies that you can turn up when they're working really well and turn down when they're not working really well. You can have them all on at the same time. We'll walk you through how to do that. And then, of course, there's more. That's just the tip of the iceberg of what we want to share with you about online arbitrage. So, online arbitrage bonuses, some things that we can help you gain even more traction, be able to spend less time, be able to make more money. We got an online arbitrage sourcing walkthrough video where you can just see me, a screen capture video, walking you through my thought process when it comes to online arbitrage and, going to different sites, seeing stuff, and it's pretty cool. A lot of you have been asking in the questions when we talked about the deal list, which list do you recommend? Where do I find lists? Well, one of the bonuses is our most recommended online arbitrage deal lists, the one that we've done the research, we have looked at, we've had experience with, or found that the results were successful. We have a list just for you. Our online arbitrage bonuses is the online arbitrage deal list. And so Peter's here. He's having some fun with us too on the webinar.
He needed to use the printer. So.
Okay, so the printer's in the office. So another bonus for you, sourcing habit tracker. This is going to help you get into the habit of doing your online arbitrage because guess what? If you just do it every once in a while, you're not going to see results. This is going to help you find those results. Rebecca, talk for a second about the inventory inspection and prep checklist bonus.
This is basically a worksheet that you can print out and you can either use it yourself or give it to somebody else who's helping you to do your inspection and prep, and it gives you all of the items to be looking for when you receive an online shipment and all of the steps you're going to need to take in order to prep that inventory to send it to the FBA warehouse.
Yeah, if you've ever done like retail arbitrage before, it's more than just what you've experienced before. Retail arbitrage prep, OA prep, inspection goes a lot deeper. This bonus is also really good, the buying parameters worksheet. Rebecca, tell us a little bit about that.
So this is another one that you can print out and make notes on it for each category that you might be sourcing in, and it's going to break down different aspects of a buying decision that you would need to make when you're sourcing, and it'll help you to kind of firm up what is it that you want to look for when you're going to make a buy. And this is a worksheet where you can, determine like what's the ROI I'm looking for in this category, what's the sales rank, what are these other criteria, and it's different for different categories. This is a worksheet that will help you make better buying decisions and help you not to be rash and thinking like I'm just going to buy something and anything right now, but to say no, this is not a good buy. I'm going to keep looking until I find something that fits these parameters. Yeah,
it's something that will help save you a lot of money, make you a lot of money. And then finally, a bonus walking you through how to calculate ROI and profit margin percentages. If you don't have that skill, it's a skill that all resellers need, and this is something that will help you. And so somebody's wanting to be the center of the movie, the center of attention right now. Peter, is there anything you want to say to everybody? They're watching you right there.
Just want to say hi.
Yes, you're over there on that screen, but they're watching you right there.
Hi. All right.
Thanks for joining us, Peter.
You gonna take your paper back in there to the computer? Your computer? Okay, that's fine.
Peter, before you go, I want you to pick a number between 1 and 2 numbers between 1 and 170. We're gonna do a giveaway.
1 and 170?
Yes, 1 and 170. So I need 2 numbers between 1 and 170, Peter.
He's got his little
8 plus 5 equals 13.
13. Okay, so we'll do number 13. What is another number? Let's get a 3-digit number now. Give me a 3-digit number between 100 and 167.
100 plus 20 equals 120.
120. All right.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Bye.
See you later.
Have a great day and God bless. Sign Arby.
Sign Arby.
Sign Arby.
Last time, sign Arby.
Sign Arby. Say Jimmy.
再见 B.
Say Jimmy.
Last time, 再见 B.
Say Jimmy.
So that's Peter. The best way I can phrase it is autism is his superpower. He loves different languages. He loves
Japanese and Chinese.
Yes, and he loves math. So having some fun with that. So I'm glad y'all got a chance to see him. He hasn't been on one of our videos in a while. So we're gonna give away a copy of this course, the Reseller's Guide to Online Arbitrage video course ebook, to the numbers I see on number 13 and number 120. And so the first winner is Camille Parkinson.
Yes.
Yes. So Camille, if you are listening, congratulations, you have won a copy of this course. You can just email me. You can go to fulltimefba.com/contact and then send me a message and say, hey, I won the online arbitrage course on your webinar, and we'll be sure to get that for you. And then the other winner for the course is Sophia S. So Sophia S, I don't have your last name, but Sophia S, congratulations. You won this course. Congratulations. Thanks for being here. So you can also contact me, fulltimefba.com/contact. Fill out that form. Let me know. Get in touch with me. You can also find me on Facebook. Send me a message there. And we'll do our best to connect with you to give you access to this course. All right, so we've got some questions. We got some really good questions that a lot of people have been asking throughout the webinar. So let's see, Rebecca, I'd love for you to answer this first question.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. All right. So the question comes from Jeff. He says, do you run into buying limits on the number of items you can order, like limit 3, for example, and is there any kind of workaround for that?
Yes, that does happen sometimes. It really just depends on the website and the type of item that you're buying. And my workaround for that, I will say I do run into that not all the time, though.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
It's rare. There's certain I'm thinking of certain websites in particular, but you just kind of get to where you know what the limits are in different websites. In general, there aren't going to be those types of limits. When you do run into that issue, the strategy that I have used is to buy the limit and then wait until I get a shipping notification, and then buy that limit again, and then wait until I get the shipping notification, and then just keep doing that process as long as I want to do it. Now, I don't know of any other website besides Amazon, maybe somebody else says. Amazon will remember. There are times when I've tried to buy an item on Amazon to resell, and it has a limit to the number that you can buy, and Amazon remembers, so it won't let you keep doing that over.
Like, you already bought your limit 3.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's other websites that do that. So in general, if you run into that problem, that's what I do. Buy it, wait till it ships, and you get the notification, and then just buy it again.
That's a good question. Stephanie asked, we keep running into products that we're gated in. What's the best way to get ungated? Well, this is obviously in dealing with online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, but the number one way to get, and I'm using the term gated, the term is also restricted. I'm restricted from selling a particular item. I'm gated. I'm not approved.
Yeah, to get approval for an item.
So to get approval for an item, the number one way to get approval is to increase your seller metrics. A lot of times, these brands, they want to protect their brand, and they want to make sure that only the good Amazon sellers are selling them. So increasing your seller metrics, making better feedback score. If you're selling via FBA, your seller metrics are going to be pretty good anyway, because Amazon is shipping and fulfilling. But your customer service, how fast you're replying to emails when customers are asking you, that helps improve your seller metrics. Another thing that increases your chances of getting approved is just length of time selling on Amazon. Sometimes the 6 month is like the magic window of opening up to all these different brands to be able to be selling those items on Amazon, because that brand says, I want at least 6 months of experience of someone selling on Amazon. And so, but other brands have different, parameters, 9 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years. And so just those two things, just increasing your seller metrics, being the best seller you can possibly be, and having that longevity on Amazon, the more you do that, the more brands will begin to open up. And anytime you ever realize that you're restricted from selling an item, immediately at that moment, seek approval. And a lot of times you'll get approval just for asking. And then if you're not, they'll tell you what you need to do to get approval, which is usually having a wholesale type account. And if you don't have the ability to get that wholesale account, then just continue working on your metrics, working on your longevity, and it would come back like 6 months later and try again to reapply and see if your numbers are better. So those are the best opportunities to getting approved. Rebecca, Patty asks this question. When it comes to online arbitrage shoes, we receive a lot of shoe boxes that are damaged. Do you find that to be a major issue?
It's an issue. I wouldn't say that it's a major issue for us. And we have all of our shoes sent to a prep center, and so they're inspecting it for us, and they do a really good job of looking at and sending me pictures when there are damages and whatnot. And so that is, whether it's the shoe box or it's any type of box for whatever type of item that you're ordering through online arbitrage, the packaging is part of the item. And so you want to make sure that the packaging looks good and is in new condition and is not scratched up or dented or torn. And so whether it's shoes or any other category of item, you want to make sure that when you receive the item, that you're sending in an item that to Amazon that is in new condition. And really how I've dealt with that is, making sure that I know before I place an order what the return policy is. And if it's a case of this is on clearance, there's no returns, I'm not going to buy it. Or I'm going to buy it knowing if it shows up and it's not in the condition that I can sell it on Amazon, then I need to have another way to take care of it. I need to have another platform to sell it on. Or there are some stores that just over time I have found that either the items that they send are just not in that great condition to begin with, or they just do a really crummy job of shipping it. They don't package it correctly to ship it to me. And so things will get damaged in that shipment. And I've just kind of over time made notes of, okay, this website, I do not like the way they ship their items to me. So I'm just not going to source from them anymore. And, that's just every seller has their own tolerance level for that, and also just their own way of dealing with that. And there's so many websites out there that, honestly, when I found a website that I have that problem with on a consistent basis, now it's going to happen from time to time no matter what. But if there's a website that happens consistently, I'll just stop sourcing from them, because there's plenty of other places to source from that actually do care about the inventory that they send you and want to make sure that it gets to you in good condition and that you're happy with your purchase.
Yeah. Terry asked a question that kind of is related. What does a prep center do when a product they receive is damaged? Do they handle returning it to the supplier?
Yes. A prep center, that should be part of their services, and they should have a system in place where you would, the way it works for us is you then initiate, just the same way you made the purchase and then sent it to the prep center, you would initiate the return. And so if I have an item that I need to return because of whatever reason, it's the wrong item or it's damaged or whatever, I will initiate the return, and then I'll send the shipping label, the return label, to the prep center and say, hey, such and such thanks for letting me know that such and such was a problem. Here's the shipping label. Can you return it for me? And then, they just add that to our invoice. That there's going to be a little fee for that, but it's, again, part of the cost that you just kind of work everything into that cost. And, that's part of using a prep center is going to be having those types of fees. But I would much rather them do it than me to have to deal with doing that return myself.
Yep.
So it's actually a really easy process. A good prep center, that's just, they know exactly what to do, and they're like, yep, we're on it. It's great.
Yeah, when you're looking for a prep center, it's always good to double check that that's something that they offer. And if they don't have it on their website, send them a message and ask them. Most of them do. They might not even think of putting that as a, but
just a given.
Yeah.
But you definitely do want to make sure that that's something they offer.
Yeah. Another question that we got, this one was actually emailed to us before. The ROI is said to be lower using online arbitrage. Does your method improve this? Well, I'm not sure who says that online arbitrage.
Compared to what? Because anytime you have a word that has a lower in it, that's a comparative word. What are you comparing it to? To garage sales?
Yeah,
it's lower than garage sales.
Garage sales, 100%, 500%.
1,000% ROI.
Right, but even like retail arbitrage, one of the things that I think is just a standard lesson for all of us resellers to understand and know, is that return on investment is, even if it's 25%, 30%, that's still really good. I know a lot of times online sellers, we get used to the return on investment from garage sales, 100%, 500%, 5,000%. And then we transition into retail arbitrage. And the ROI for retail arbitrage, if you go looking in just clearance section stuff, some of that ROI is 100%, 90%. But the lesson, I think, for all of us to understand that no matter what your strategy is, the more comfortable you can get sourcing inventory at lower ROI, the more inventory you're going to find, and the more money you're going to make, and the longer you're going to make it in this business.
And you're going to make up for it in volume.
Yes. Yes. And so I understand if you're a beginner wanting to have a higher ROI as like a buffer, so that if you make a mistake, you can learn from that mistake and still have some wiggle room for repricing and stuff.
And also so that your profits will snowball faster.
Yes.
You need that extra profit so that you're growing it bigger, faster.
Exactly. But once you start to get the hang of selling on Amazon, you should start lowering the bar when it comes to your return on investment. I think a good bottom of the bar is 25, 30% ROI, and being able to do that, again, you're able to continue to go over and over again. And it doesn't mean your entire inventory is 30%.
Right. No.
That's just the lowest. You'll still find stuff on online arbitrage, 50%, 100%, 150%, 200%. You'll still find those. But if you start to realize, hey, I can experiment with this at 30%, because the other item I bought just a minute ago was at 200% ROI. And so that 200% ROI might buy you some wiggle room with the 30% ROI. So It's a good thing to kind of think through.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Justina asks, aren't deal lists saturated since they're provided to many subscribers at the same time? Are they worth investing in?
That's a really good question. And that's one that I really struggled with over and over when I was first getting started. And it's actually something I don't even think about now. One thing that you definitely want to keep in mind is making sure when you sign up for a deal list, what is the cap? Because if it's just unlimited, whoever wants it, here it is, that's a problem. But a good deal list or a good group, or however the deal list is organized, is going to put a cap on it, and they will have multiple lists available. So let's say there's a provider who wants to offer deals every day, but they want to cap it at 30 people in the group, but they still got deals left over, so they'll have a second list, and there's only 30 people on each list at the maximum. And so that's why sometimes you'll even run into a waiting list for some of the deal lists that are out there, because they've capped it and they're not going to let anybody else in so that it doesn't get oversaturated. But I will tell you this also. I have found that even when a deal list is capped, you might think, oh, I don't want to compete with 30 people on this item. I've got this list of 10 items, and I found 3 off of the list today that are excellent, and I really want them, but I don't want to have all this competition. Just because those 3 items are really great for your business does not mean they're going to work for everybody else. It does not mean that everybody else who's receiving that list is going to go out and buy exactly what you bought. So just because there's 30 people receiving a deal list does not mean that 30 people are going to buy each of those items on that list. And also, a lot of people sign up for lists and never use them. Mm-hmm. That list might be going out to 30 people and 5 people, I'm not kidding,
right,
5 people opening it up and actually using it every day. People subscribe and then things happen. They either forget to do it that day, or something else comes up and they can't use it that day, or they've run out of sourcing money or whatever. So just because a certain number of people is getting that list does not mean that all of those people are going to buy all of those deal lists, all of those deals off of the list every day. But it is definitely something to look at, that you want to make sure any list you subscribe to does have a cap or some sort of randomization. Is that a word, randomization?
It is now.
Okay. Where not everybody's receiving the exact same list. Mm-hmm. There are those type of lists as well.
Yeah.
Good question.
Good answer. We have another question that was sent in before. Can online arbitrage be my primary business model, and can that help me make a full-time income? Yes. Online arbitrage, if you only use online arbitrage, if you do it the way that we teach you and you do it consistently, then yes, you can make a full-time income with just doing online arbitrage. And it's very possible to do it from home. even potentially possible with the outsourcing steps that we teach you in this course, to be able to do it with only part-time hours and be able to make that full-time income. So if you're, you do that, then you can see those results. Again, it's not going to be immediate, but you can grow to the place where you can make that kind of full-time income. Jeff asked the question, can you order online tax exempt, or do you just buy and pay the sales tax? There's certain websites, certain stores online that you can kind of Google tax exempt, and when you're creating an account, you can put in your tax exempt status, and so you can search per store to do that. There are also, but depending on your state, there are certain types of reimbursement requests, so you can just pay the sales tax, and then you can fill out the forms that you can find on your state's website for tax exemption reimbursement, and you can file that, and you can have the store reimburse you for your tax exempt. But it all depends on how much time you want to invest in this. If this is a store that you put a lot of money into, then it might be worth your time to get reimbursed for that. But when you look at the time versus the value of what you're going to get from that time, personally, we just, pay sales tax and don't worry about, trying to get reimbursed from that or anything like that.
Another solution is to find a prep center in a sales tax free state, so
Yes.
that when you're shipping to them, they don't charge sales tax.
Yes. Yeah. There's, I think, 5 maybe states that do not charge sales tax. And so, yeah, you can have a prep center there. And so you're buying it, shipping it there, and then you're not having to worry about the sales tax. So that's a good question. Let's see. We got some other questions here. We got a lot of questions about how can you find a warehouse to prep your stuff and send it to Amazon. If you go to fulltimefba.com and just type in the search area prep, we have 2 blog posts, the importance of a prep center and how to find a prep center. And so we also walk you through that through this course about how to find a prep center, how to choose a good prep center. We have two prep centers that we use. One is in Texas, because that's where we are. It's called Brown Box Ninja. You can find out more about that. fulltimefba.com/Brown Box Ninja. Another one is called My Prep Center, and you can find that fulltimefba.com/My Prep Center. That one is located in Michigan, and we love those. We send online arbitrage, wholesale type stuff to them. I drop my retail arbitrage stuff off at the one in Texas, but we enjoy those. My Prep Center and Brown Box Ninja. Bob says, what is the minimum quantity you will work with? I'm not sure if that means what's the minimum quantity that we'll purchase for online arbitrage. I mean,
whatever the free shipping rate is.
Yes.
I always will make a purchase to get me above the free shipping threshold, and if that's one item, then it's one item.
Another question we had come in, would focusing on a niche create more success and profit? When it comes to online arbitrage, if you just kind of pick a certain niche, I mean, I think it's possible if you are really well educated about that particular niche, then it could be something that could really help you. Also, each different type of niche or product category or certain type of product, they have their own different types of things that you can learn about each of those categories. So if you're able to master one of those categories, like I have a friend who is really good at selling used electronics. I don't know anything about used electronics. I wouldn't do that at all, but he knows it and he does really well with it. And then Rebecca sources shoes and focuses a lot on shoes when it comes to online arbitrage. Really well with that. We have an entire course about buying and selling shoes. That's how good shoes have been to us.
And I've enjoyed that niche so much that I just eventually got to where that's the only category I would buy in, really. Unless there's just something else that just kind of drops in my lap. But I don't generally go out looking for other categories or niches now.
Right. And for me, I don't feel comfortable sourcing shoes. I anytime I have a shoe lead, I always tell her, but I love sourcing toy leads. I love sourcing home decor leads and other things like that when it comes to online arbitrage. And so, yeah, if you find a niche that you're really comfortable with, in fact, that's one of our strategies. Find something that you're really comfortable with and know a lot about, and you're, a step ahead of other people who are selling those items on Amazon. So how much capital do you need to get started? Nanette asked you specifically. No, he didn't say.
No, she didn't. She did not ask me specifically.
I mean, honestly, a lot of times if you can just, get started by buying something that helps you qualify on a website for free shipping, that's a good place to start. there's different. We teach you in this course the manual searching method, and so if you're low on funds, that's the method that we show you how to do it, where you don't have to pay the high price dollars of sourcing tools that will help save a lot of time. So if you have a lot of time but not a lot of funds, then the manual sourcing method is really good.
And it's hard to give a dollar amount because, it depends on what category you're buying. And, there's some categories where you can buy, a lot more units per that, if you've got $100, you could buy 10 units, but a pair of shoes you might buy 2 pairs of shoes for that amount of money. So I wouldn't start with shoes if you don't have a lot of capital for that reason. So it just really depends on, what category you're wanting to get started in. But if you've got a couple $100 and some patience, then you can, make some purchases. You can manually search for things, use free tools, make some good decisions, and then send that stuff in and wait for those profits to come back and then reinvest that. Okay, I'm gonna go help Peter.
Okay.
That's why I keep coming in and out. I'm helping Peter.
So I got a lot of different questions I want to go through here. Scott was saying, do you sell on Amazon sites other than the U.S. site? We don't, but it is possible to do really well with online arbitrage from other sites. We've got friends that sell on other Amazon platforms. The thing is until you master selling on Amazon in the United States, I wouldn't recommend, unless you live in that country, selling in other countries. So I would focus on learning how to grow an Amazon business that's successful just for Amazon.com before you branch out to other countries. Because when you branch out to other countries, it's a whole nother learning curve for you, and you just want to make sure you feel comfortable selling in the United States or whatever country you are in, if it has an Amazon platform, selling on that home platform before you branch out. So that's a good question. When it comes to deal lists, we've been asked, is there saturation with deal lists? Well, here's a question from Robert. With a scanning program like Tactical Arbitrage or OA X-Ray, aren't there many sellers looking at the same items and buying the same items?
So it depends on what you're scanning. There are hundreds of websites for both OA X-Ray and Tactical Arbitrage, and I would imagine any other scanning program that's out there. Hundreds of websites that you can scan. And so if you're just scanning Walmart.com or Target.com, then probably the answer is yes, there's going to be a lot of people scanning and looking at those same items and buying those same items. That's low-hanging fruit. You can try that and it might work. But if you can do the hard work of looking for a niche or looking for a website that's not as popular, or even a category on a website that might be, the website might be popular, but the category is not. If you can find something like that and dig around and scan and look at those items that aren't just super obvious that everybody else is looking at, then no, that's not the case. I source shoes, so that's not exactly, unlimited stores out there. I feel like there's just, there's a finite number of stores that sell shoes, and I routinely am the only person selling that ASIN. I find stuff that I buy it and nobody else is buying it, even though I'm sure there's dozens of people, I don't know, dozens, hundreds, maybe. I have no idea, of other Amazon sellers who sell shoes and likely are using Tactical Arbitrage or OA X-Ray or a deal list. I get a deal list every day, and there's times when I will run a scan, and then later on I'll see that I'll find something on my Tactical Arbitrage scan, and then I'll see it the next day on a deal list. And there's been times when I thought, oh no, now it's on the deal list, everybody else is going to find it. Nope, so I'm still the only person who bought that and is selling it. I'm still the only person FBA seller. So it really just depends. You have to just kind of niche down, find something that not everybody else is looking at, and that requires time and effort, but it's possible. It's very possible.
Yeah, for sure. Lisa was asking, is the Reseller's Guide to Online Arbitrage just for beginners, or can some people with experience with online arbitrage also find something useful from that course? So yes, it's for beginners. It's also for advanced, because you see one of the bullet points here is how to outsource your FBA to free up your time. unless you've already gone through and outsourced a lot of your FBA, then maybe you can, you still have an opportunity to learn something new from this course. That's also why there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you go through this course and you're like, this is the basics, I already know all this stuff, then that's fine. We'll give you a refund. But, I honestly believe that you will find something in this course that will help increase your profits and help save you time that you hadn't thought of before. And so I think it's really great for beginners with online arbitrage. Also, those that, have experience with it are going to learn some new things that will, significantly help their Amazon business. So it's a good question to ask. Brandon says, is it true that you can get in trouble for using your personal Prime account for buying inventory to sell on Amazon using Prime?
Yes, that is against the terms of services. Do not do that.
Yes, it's something that you agreed to when you signed up for your Amazon account. So,
So the workaround is use a non-Prime account to do that. Don't use your Prime account, but use a different buying account to make that.
Is another workaround to just do the standard non-Prime shipping option?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? I think it is. I think if you just
can't use the Prime shipping.
you just can't use the fast 2-day guaranteed Prime shipping when you're buying your items. If you want to buy it from that account and just choose a standard account or have a different account, both of those work.
Some people keep it completely separate and just have an account that they only use for buying, just to make sure that there's no overlap.
Joshua asks, I'm starting to use prep centers. Do you guys only use prep centers, or do you still prep some items yourself? And so what's the determining factor for what products you send to preppers and ones you prep yourself? So we try to outsource as much as possible. So we want our prep center to prep as much as possible. In fact, there was a time a couple years ago when our prep center that was close by here shut down, and it was in the middle of Q4.
It was in the middle of Q4.
Yeah, and so for a couple months before we found another prep center that we wanted to work with, we prepped ourselves during Q4 ourselves, and we were like, I hate this. It's horrible. We got so spoiled.
We had a friend come in and help us too, and she was, real helpful and happy to help. But we were like, nope, this is just an emergency measure right now. I will say, like I was talking before, somebody asked about what do you do if you receive items with damaged boxes, and I was saying, I kind of keep a list of stores that I won't source at because of that reason, or if I do, I know that I'm taking that risk and that it might arrive damaged, and then I need to have another place to sell it. For a while, I was sending most of my shoes to a prep center, but there was a list of stores that I still like to source from because, 75% of the time, the items that I received from them were in good enough condition to send to Amazon, but that other 25% was not, and I needed to have something else to do with them, and I wasn't wanting to return all of them. I can't remember what the reason was. It was like they had a bad return policy, or it was difficult or something. And so I would just have them sent here, so that then instead of that inventory being at the prep center and me being like, oh, what am I going to do? It's stuck there. And at one point I had somebody in Florida doing stuff for me. Right now it's in another part of Texas where it's a several hour drive to get there, or we used the one in Michigan. So I would send some stuff here to prep myself, so that if by chance I couldn't send it in and didn't want to return it, it would be here on hand for me to figure out, okay, I'm going to sell it on Poshmark, or, whatever else. I'm going to wear it myself, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, call the kids in. Everyone try these shoes on.
There are times when I'm like, okay, what size are all of your feet now? Because they're all growing. But anyway, that's like a tangent. Anyway, but that's kind of come and go for me. There's times when I have more of a desire to do that, and I'm like, yeah, I just want to source, and if I have to figure it out, I'll do that. There's times when I'm like, you know what, I don't have the time for that right now. So I would rather just limit the number of stores that I'm sourcing at to only the ones that I know 95% of the time are going to send me quality, undamaged goods, and I'm not going to deal with it. So I'm just going to send everything to the prep center. So I would say that there are times when we do our own prepping, but the majority of the time right now we're just like, no, send it to the prep center. We don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, and if you are considering using a prep center and you start using a prep center, you're going to start to think to yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? I haven't heard anyone say, I started using a prep center too soon. I haven't heard. There might be people out there. I just haven't heard. Tim asks, what sort of sourcing budget makes sense before adding deal lists or scanning programs? So we talked about the manual sourcing method, and you can, if you're able to have the time to do that. But if you start to see, hey, this manual sourcing method, which we suggest everyone go through and try before jumping into,
At least for a little while.
right, before jumping into sourcing programs or deal lists, if you start to realize I've kind of come to a plateau of growing my business, that I don't have enough time to source anymore, or I don't have any additional time to source more inventory. And if I just had more time to source more inventory, then I'd be able to grow my business. I'd be able to make more money. At that point, that's when you start to realize the little bit of investment in a deal list or the little bit of an investment in the sourcing program is going to shave hours and hours off of my sourcing time, so that I can spend my time better focused on those leads. I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I would say too, the way that I would think about it when we first got started with this was, for deal lists in particular, but it works either way. How much is that deal list going to cost me for a monthly subscription or a weekly subscription, or however often it gets charged? Usually it's by the month, right? So let's say it's $50 a month or $100 a month, whatever the subscription is that you're doing. Well, how many items would I need to sell off of that list during that time period to pay for that month? And then how many more items do I expect to buy over that? And I start thinking about it that way, where it's like, if I can spend $100 or $50 to buy 30 items in a month, that subscription more than pays for itself over and over and over again. And so that's one way to kind of look at it. I think you just kind of need to do the research and see, okay, what's available that I'm wanting to try? Okay, how much does it cost? Okay, if I just did that for 1 month as a trial, and I'm not saying as a free trial, but like, I'm going to dedicate $50 to my education and try this out. It's going to be an experiment. It's going to be an education, but I'm also going to possibly make some profits. Hopefully going to make some good profits off of it. And then see, okay, so what do I need to, how much do I need to buy and how much do I need to sell in order to make that $50 more than worth it? And then kind of go from there. And it's so hard when people ask questions about like, how much capital do I need? Or what does the sourcing budget need to look like? I know it's not the answer people are looking for, but it depends. What category are you talking about is the main criteria that I look at.
Yes.
But sorry, Peter's hollering from the other room. So yeah, it depends, but there's ways that you can kind of figure that out by looking at what have you got available, and then what are you looking to add. And don't feel like you need to add. Sometimes we'll have like a blog post or in the course, here's 9 different things that you can use. Don't go get all 9 of them at one time. Get one and try it for a while, figure it out, figure out if it's worthwhile, and then think, okay, so now that I've got that down and it's profitable and I'm able to afford it, what can I add next?
Yeah, that's wisdom dropped right there, for sure. Someone asked, how new is this course? Is the information up to date? We just launched it on a Monday, so it's really new, brand new for 2020. So yeah, it's we've been working on it for a while, and
it's been a dream of ours for the last couple of years. We have wanted to have an online arbitrage course. There's just been so much other stuff that we've been working on, and there's just not been a time to get it done. And we finally spent the last several months doing it.
Yeah.
So this is a labor of love for us. I personally love online arbitrage, and I'm really excited that we finally have this available. So yay, we launched yesterday.
Yes, we're excited about this. And we have a coupon code, again, as a reminder, online50 will save you $50 off of the cost of the course, The Reseller's Guide to Online Arbitrage. And we're excited about this launch and how you can, get the course and start going through the videos or reading through the chapters and learning all of this and impacting your Amazon business, impacting your profits and your finances. And so, again, we've run out of time for tonight's webinar, but there's still questions that I want to answer. So this is what's going to happen. In our Full-Time FBA Facebook group, I'm going to be doing some Facebook Lives where I'm going to be answering some of the questions that we didn't have time to get around to answer. So be sure you're part of our Facebook group, fulltimefba.com/Facebook. We'll be doing some Facebook Lives to talk about through some of these questions that people ask. Some people have been asking about, hey, is there an online deal list for brand new sellers? Yes, I can tell you about that in the Facebook group. We'll be doing some Facebook Lives. The Facebook Lives, they'll be recorded where you can watch the replays. We'll answer some more of these questions. But this coupon code online50, it's a limited time launch special. So not a lunch special,
Special.
but a launch special that can help take a significant portion of the cost off of this course. But Rebecca and I have really enjoyed hanging out with you tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us and asking such really good questions. But we look forward to seeing you again next time for sure. Peter, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Sayonara, B.
This has been fun. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Big Jippy.
So thanks for hanging out with us. Have a great day, everybody. God bless. Bye.
Sayonara, B.
Bye.
Thank you.